morning, everybody. Welcome to Cruise Chat Live. It's good to see you. It's Sunday morning. It's a very stormy, rainy Sunday morning here in Orlando. We were going to set up outside, and then I looked at the forecast, and it's like, yep, nope, we're going to be inside. We might get some thunderstorms. I hope everything is amazing where you are. I know Eric is having an amazing time. Look at this. Eric is live on the Norwegian Joy in Alaska. Hey, Eric. I hope you're having a great time. You've got 10 days in Alaska on that ship. I hope you're going to have an amazing time. I always love it when people actually tune in when you're out and about somewhere. That's pretty cool. I hope you have an amazing time on there. I mean, you're in Alaska, Eric. You should have a fantastic time up there. But for those of you who are new to the channel, hi, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. We book cruises, land, luxury, expedition, and our services are truly 100% free to you. So if we can help you at all with your travel, just reach out, where'swaltertravel.com. Links are in the descriptions, or if you're watching me on TikTok, links are in the bio. We already have a question from Dale saying, what is the best cruise line? It's whatever ship you're going on next. That's basically the best cruise line out there. There is no best. I mean, it just depends on where do you want to go, when do you want to go, and how long do you want to go? Well, because based on those factors, that gives us a certain amount of ships that are available. And then from those ships, we match it up to the kind of vacation style that you want to have. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, but also it's like a kind of your personality too, what you individually are looking for, because what might be the best thing for me could be completely different for somebody else.
Yeah, so there's about 70 cruise lines out there right now on the oceans, from the big ones to the small ones to everything in between. And then don't even talk about the rivers. And when we get into the rivers, we've got so many others. So there is no best cruise line out there. There is just whatever's best for you and your travel. And that's one of the things that we do as travel agents, is we match you up to the right ship. So, and it rarely comes down to just the cruise line. It comes down to the ship as well, because sometimes there might be a cruise line that we might think is better for you, but we really don't like the ship as much. We think a different ship would work better for you. So yeah, it really comes down to the ship. It comes down to the ship and the itinerary more than it does than just the cruise line itself. It's like very rare that we actually pick something out strictly because of the cruise line. Usually that's because the client comes to us and says, we want this particular cruise line. It's like, okay, we'll do that. Hey, Carol is storming down in Wesley Chapel too. I see Mimi's here, Kurt, Nurse Tara, Terry, good morning, Sue. In case you're wondering why Santa is standing next to me, it's because we're still really friggin' excited about the new group cruise that we just opened up this week. If you haven't heard about it yet, oh my gosh, where have you been? We've already sold 3 times the amount of cabins that we expected by this point. Good morning, Mike. How are you? We announced it this week. The response has been absolutely incredible. Now, keep in mind, there's only 80 cabins on this ship. We're doing Christmas time on the Rhine with Avalon Waterways. It's going to be December 7th through the 14th, 2027. We're going to start in Basel, Switzerland. We'll go to Brisach, Kell, which will be the gateway to Strasbourg, France, Ludwigshafen, Rudesheim, Cologne, Mainz, and then we'll end up in Frankfurt. So it'll be a 7-day cruise. We're going to hit dozens of Christmas markets along the way. And if you book before August 31st, there's a $400 per person savings. So Avalon Waterways has a $250 per person savings, and then we have free prepaid gratuity. So you add those together, $400 savings if you book by August 31st. And we have had a tremendous response to this. Oh my gosh, we were not expecting, I mean, we were expecting people to be excited. We weren't expecting you to be this excited. So we're really excited. We're going to be there. We're probably going to fly into Zurich, Switzerland, spend a few days there and have some fun. Is anybody watching, have you been on a Christmas markets cruise yet? If you have, tell me where you went and if you have any advice for us, because like we're really excited to be doing this one. Right now, it's our first river cruise, but I think we're going to get on a river ship in 26, so we'll have some experience on a river ship. And we picked this cruise in particular and the ship in particular, because they have these panoramic suites with like, I don't know, 10 or 14-foot glass wall on the end. So there's no outdoor balcony. And in December, you really don't want to step outside the ship. It's going to be pretty cold. So this way we can just sit right up against that glass and look out, and oh my gosh, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So Brian, how are you? Good to see you. Still thinking about that Kunard trip? Is it dumb to think about last minute discounts? So cruise lines are really not discounting that much anymore, you know, for quote unquote last minute discounts. I doubt we're going to see the rates, especially Kunard. A lot of the cruise lines would rather just leave empty cabins or just keep them for the bidding process versus just reducing them down. So especially like, I think you've been considering some of the suites. The suites are almost never marked down. It'll be like the inside, the ocean views, maybe the lower level balconies, those will be marked down. But those suites, they're going to hold on to those because people will bid up into them. So especially if you're thinking about a suite, they rarely will go down. They would rather keep those empty and then let people bid into them versus reducing the price. So I doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen.
Well, cruise lines don't have to sail full to make a profit.
I don't know what the current number is. It used to be 30%. Once the ship was 30% full, they're already making a profit. I don't know what the numbers are these days. You know, if the numbers have gone up because, you know, fuel costs have gone up and things like that. But
food costs,
I would guess
costs.
somewhere around 50% is when 40 to 50% is when they start making a profit. So they don't have to sail full to make the money. So, so Douglas wants to know what's the difference between a classic and a discovery excursion on Avalon. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rebecca, but I believe discovery are the ones you have to pay for. I think so. I think so.
They might just be a different type of excursion because they do have different categories. Yeah,
they have different. They do have classic and discovery. I think the discoveries may have an added fee. I think that is the difference. Rebecca's going to look it up right now and get us the answer. We'll get it. We'll get it for you though, Douglas. Thank you for the question. That's a perfect question to ask because Avalon Waterways has classic excursion, then they have discovery excursion. Dale wants to know, have we been on the new Star of the Seas yet? I will a week from today. Week from today, we will be boarding the Star of the Seas for 1 full week. At least I will. Rebecca's going to stay home. I'm going to be with Stephanie on the Star of the Seas. So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. That is going to be a lot of fun. And since Brian brought up that Kunard cruise, I do want to go ahead and remind you all that, yes, Rebecca and I are going to be on the Kunard Queen Elizabeth this Christmas. I guess it's just as well we still got Santa out here. This Christmas, December 18th through the 30th, 2025. And we're going to be doing a round trip Miami for 12 days. It'll be Miami, San Juan, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, San Martin, Tortola. And it is a distinctive voyage, which means if you book through me or any other Travel Leaders Network travel agent, you will get the services of a distinctive voyages host or a concierge, if you will. That's going to be me. You'll get a welcome reception. Plus, we have a free excursion in St. Lucia. So all of that is wrapped up in a distinctive voyage. So December 18th through the 30th, 2025 this year, will be on the Kunard Queen Elizabeth. And I think Rebecca has an answer on. So the question was on Avalon Waterways, what's the difference between a classic and a discovery excursion?
It is not necessarily the cost. Classic excursions are more your traditional guided sightseeing tours of historical landmarks and cultural sites. And discovery excursions provide hands-on interactive experiences such as cooking classes, painting workshops, or things like that. And they also will have active excursions in some, which I guess that's pretty obvious what that is.
Yeah, and they have bikes and things like that. So there we go. Thank you. So classic, just basically your guided tour, probably walking around with a lollipop sign, and then the discovery might be a little bit more active. You might be doing something. You might be riding a bike. Riding a bike in the snow would be killer. I would love that. I used to do that. Anybody used to do that when they were a kid? You know, it would snow and you get your bike out and you try to ride up and down the street in the snow. That was so much fun. So much fun. Rosie girl, I think I'm kind of blinded from the lights. How do you keep from getting sick all the time? Oh, you mean on the cruises? So number one, we stay up on our vaccines and the vaccine boosters for sure. Number two, I do those like emergency kind of things that I take all the time. Of course, when we're on the ship, sanitize our hands like crazy. You know, they have sanitizers out there for a reason. So sanitize your hand all the time. Wash your hands, sanitize your hands, do that all the time. And, you know, take the vitamins and whatnot. But I mean, I do catch cold from time to time. Like in Alaska, it poured down rain and it was cold the first couple of days. And I came home with a pretty good cold from that one. But yeah, you know, you just never know. You know, you just keep your energy up and keep taking, you know, drink orange juice, take your vitamins, and especially wash those hands and sanitize those hands. Yeah.
I would say that of all the cruises we've been on, we've maybe come home and it's pretty much only been colds. We've never gotten anything intestinal or stuff like that. But I'd say maybe 10% of the cruises we've gone on, we might have come home with a cold. Yeah, just generally a cold. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody is a little bit different, so you just never know. Yeah. That's pretty much it. You know, take the emergency, always wash the hands, you know, try to sneeze into your arm, things like that. Try to be respectful of other people. John wants to know, is there a strategy for upgrading to Rockstar suites on Virgin Voyages? You're sailing at a ton of empty cabins and hoping to go from seriously to cheeky corner. Not really. I mean, it is, from what I understand, it's an automated process that is done by a third party. So I don't really know what the algorithm is that the system is looking at. So there's really no rhyme or reason for, you know, it may also be, you know, how many people are bidding on that seriously suite that they can move into your room. So now, from what I understand, a lot of this is now automated. It's done by, and then a lot of it's actually done by a third party. It's not even done by the cruise line. I mean, Royal Caribbean may do it, but I'm pretty sure Virgin has a third party that just does it. So it's all an algorithm, man. I don't know what triggers the algorithm. Douglas saying that he is interested in the Marcus Cruise, but teetering on whether you want to wait to see what Celebrity Rivers does. So on Thursday night, actually, since you mentioned that, on Thursday night, I will actually have Alex is going to be on here from Celebrity Cruises. Now, he will not be able to tell us anything about the rivers. I know everybody's going to ask him about the rivers during the show, but he can't because he doesn't know. They are literally not telling them. If they tell our reps what's happening with Celebrity Rivers, the reps are going to tell us. They know that. And in fact, he told us that he didn't even know about Celebrity Rivers until 15 minutes before they made the announcement. So that's how much that they keep it from them. But we will have Alex on the show on Thursday night on YouTube, so we can talk more about Celebrity. Now, the thing about Celebrity Rivers is, you know, a lot of people are excited about this, and rightfully so, because we've got new ships coming in and a new way of doing things. We don't really know what their track record is going to be. So some people were asking me, well, why don't you do Celebrity Rivers for Christmas markets in 27? Well, number one, we don't even know what they're doing. And number two, we want to go with a tried and true cruise line. And as of right now, per Gary Benbridge's latest video, Avalon Waterways is the number one chosen river cruise line out there. So I think we did pretty good with the Avalon. I'm going to be very interested to see what their ships look like. Avalon certainly came up with that panorama suite concept that really nobody else has. So that was another reason why we leaned into this. But yeah, you know, we really don't know what Celebrity's going to do. We don't know what the rate, if they are truly going to do the Sky Suite model. It sounded like they want to kind of treat the entire ship like a retreat. You know, they will be a pretty high entry price to get in, but we just got to wait and see. On September 3rd, you can put down a $500 refundable deposit,
and then you will essentially be first in line to see what they have for the river cruises. So I hope everybody understands that September 3rd, the rivers are not going on sale. What is happening on September 3rd is you can put down a $500 refundable deposit with Celebrity to get the first looks at the itineraries and be the first to book before they go on sale to the general public. Exactly the same thing that Virgin Voyages did when they opened up Alaska. People were able to pay a deposit. When they finally got the itineraries out, they got the first look. If they wanted it, then the $500 went towards the cruise. If they didn't like what they saw, then the $500 came back. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting with the rivers. Honestly, I want to see Celebrity run the rivers for a year before I get on them. I really don't want to be first. I don't want to be a guinea pig for a brand new, like if it's just a new ship, right? Like when they came out with the Edge class ship, sure, I'll go on the first sailing on that because it's just another ocean ship. Celebrity's never done rivers. So I want to let them do a season or two. I want to be able to see what docks they're able to go to because a lot of this stuff is priority. If you saw the news from Amsterdam's now going to limit the river ship to about 1,000 a year. That's all going to be based on how many times did you come to Amsterdam last year. So Celebrity's starting at 0. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. So yeah, so it's going to be interesting. We're going to do that. We picked this particular cruise line and this particular ship because of the panoramic suite, and it's going to be cold. When we go back and we do like a summertime or a springtime or a fall cruise, we'll probably pick a different ship. We might even pick a different line, maybe one that does have that outdoor balcony so we can sit outside when the weather's more pleasant than it is in the winter. But we're really excited. So Paul, suggestions in what to do. I'm not sure what the question is, Paul. What to do with what? Oh, I'm sorry. There it is. Paul, you're sailing. I missed the first part of your question. You're sailing out of San Juan on the Valiant Lady in January. Suggestions on what to do. Well, in San Juan, I would do the food tour. There's a food tour called Flavors of San Juan. It's a fabulous food tour. Absolutely fabulous food tour. And what's nice about it, it's led by the locals, and you can walk around because I assume you're going to fly in a day early. Maybe you're going to stay a day after. Great to go see that. I don't know exactly what your itinerary is for the Valiant Lady, but you will be going into probably some of the Saints and things like that. Certainly snorkeling is big down there. We have been looking into food tours more and more at the local island because you get to see a lot of the local area, and you certainly go eat at places that you would not find on your own. But yes, snorkeling is always big. Catamarans are always big, and then maybe if you do some diving. Mindy could certainly talk more on the diving. Rebecca, did you have some suggestions?
Yeah, I know some of their itineraries go there. I don't know if yours does, but one of my favorite things was the whale watching excursion we did in Dominica.
That was good. Yeah, that was really good.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, they're smaller whales.
Yeah, we were on Oceania and we stopped in Dominica and we did a whale watching excursion down there. And that was actually pretty cool. You're right. I actually forgot about that. That was really, really good.
It was technically a whale and dolphin excursion. We saw no dolphins, but
but we saw whales.
Two different kinds of whales.
And it was kind of cool because there was another excursion near us and it was a bunch of snorkelers who were swimming with the whales. So it was kind of fun watching them and the whales. So it was kind of like we were watching snorkelers in their native habitat along with the whales. It was kind of fun. It really was fun. So, Paul, you've never been to San Juan. Yeah. So San Juan is a cool little town. And when you look up the Flavors of San Juan, you'll see that they have like 4 or 5 different tours, including a ghost tour in the evening, which looks great. So, hey, Silver Librarian, how are you? Good to see you. You're getting ready for your big Explora journey. That's going to be amazing. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. SL is here. I think you said it's warm and sunny over there right now. Is that what you said? Yeah, it's very warm for you, Scotland. I just booked Scotland and Ireland. It's a 14-day Holland America for a guest that wanted to hit both islands, and it's round trip from Dover to go around. So yeah, they'll be coming over next year. So Big Bob, 77 days until the first cruise of the MSC Seascape out of Galveston. You decided to treat yourself to the Yacht Club. Nice. The Yacht Club, I'll tell you, the Yacht Club is probably the best value in a ship within a ship. The Princess Sanctuary comes pretty close. You don't get the butler and all of that, but that yacht club is pretty sweet for what you get. So that's right. Yeah, she's coming to Galveston. I'm going to be very interested to see if one of the world ships comes to Galveston. I fully expect an Icon class will come to Galveston at some point. I was really surprised that we're going to have 3 Icons in Florida. I thought for sure the Legend was going over to Galveston. So I have to expect at some point one of the Icon ships is coming over too. So you'll have that. So yeah. So Douglas, you have allergies. You just have to ask the individual food tours what they can. I mean, it's really not up to the food tours themselves. They have to check with the restaurants and see if the restaurants can. But in some cases, they can. In some cases, it's like, well, I'm sorry, you can't eat at this particular stop, but you'll be able to eat at the others. So you just got to check in with the food tours themselves. Darla wants to know, have we been on any of the river cruises in the United States? Have we had clients book them and what's their experience? We have talked to clients about them. The premier one here in the U.S. really is American Cruise Line. Viking is also on the American rivers, but American Cruise Line covers like everything. They do the Mississippi, they do the Snake River Canyon, they have coastal cats, they even do Alaska. So we have not booked one yet. You know, the prices are pretty steep on those, so you really gotta want to do one. And I think when clients see the price, they're like, well, I can do a river cruise for the European river cruise for the same price. So they end up going to Europe. I have been trying to get on one of these ships for a while, and I just haven't done it yet. I've got to connect with my American Cruise Lines rep again, because they have coastal cats that go around Florida, and I've been trying just to meet up with one of them and just go either get on it for a day or at least just go see it up close and personal. So yeah, if I can, has anybody here actually booked one of those American Cruise Line ships yet? They look great. They look like a lot of fun. But no, I do book them. And I should say I represent them. We haven't booked one yet, but I do represent them, and we have presented them to clients. Haven't actually booked one yet, but I would love to, and I would love to go on one. Kurt, this is a really good question. Kurt is asking, are there any restrictions with the AARP gift cards and Royal Caribbean? So if you go to AARP, you can still buy, these are like the only ones left, I think, Royal Caribbean and Celebrity cards at a discount. There is a restriction on those. They can only be used for the cruise fare. They cannot be used on the ship. They cannot be used for onboard credit. They cannot be used for
the deposit.
Yeah, you can't use it for the deposit. They can only be used to pay for the cruise fare. If you buy one and bring it on board, they're just gonna say, nope, sorry, you can't use that. So yeah. So that's a really good question, Kurt. We have had people who have bought them, and then they go to try to turn them in for onboard credit on the ship, and it's like, yep, sorry, you cannot do that. So, hey, Betty, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome back from Norway. Dale, what's the pricing for 2 adults for a balcony on the Kunard Christmas cruise that we're going on? I don't have that number offhand. I don't know. And plus, you have to keep in mind that there are 12 balcony categories on that ship. So we have shelter, but we have obstructed balconies. We have sheltered balconies. I got Britannia balconies. I got Britannia Club. I got Princess Grill. I got Queen's Grill. I got all kinds of balconies on that ship. So you're going to have to reach out. Feel free to drop me an email, and I'll send you some pricing on it. But the pricing is actually really good. So I had one client reach out and said, should I be concerned that there's so much space still available on it? But you have to remember, this is Christmas time in Florida, where we have about 100 ships to choose from. So the ships that are going to fill up right away are the family ones. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, they're going to fill up for Christmas. The more adult skewing ships like Kunard, they generally fill up for New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is like the more adult cruise. So yeah, so this ship still has quite a bit of availability, but it's not because, it's not selling well. We actually have over 40 people in the Distinctive Voyage group. I got the notification this past week. So the ship is actually selling really, really well. It's just, I don't know if it'll sell out because there's so much inventory in Florida at this time. Do you want?
Well, and this is Cunard's first time where they're doing a whole season out of Florida in the winter.
Oh.
They've done cruises out of Florida in the winter, but this is the first time they're doing a whole season.
Yeah, everybody is starting to move, everybody's starting to move their ships around and do different things. And what he's asking about, I've got it on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube, but this is the Kunard Queen Elizabeth for 12 nights. I will be your Distinctive Voyages host. Think of me as your concierge for the entire trip. We're going to do Miami, San Juan, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Martin, and Tortola. We're excited about Tortola. We're hoping that we're going to have enough time to actually go off and do our favorite snorkeling excursion, which is on a catamaran, which should be a lot of fun. So by booking this cruise through me or any Travel Leaders Network travel agent, you get the services of a Distinctive Voyages host. That'll be me. We're going to have a welcome reception, and you get a free shore excursion in St. Lucia. And all of that's just included with the price of the cruise. There's no extra charge for any of that. It's just a thank you for booking with a Travel Leaders Network travel agent. So, yeah.
You missed a question.
I missed the question.
Yeah, Mike Smith about MSC, kind of right above.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. How are you? Mike Smith is asking, they want to check out the MSC World America. You've never sailed MSC. Can we help? Will they match? I assume you mean status match. Yes, they will status match. MSC and Virgin Voyages are really the only two that'll status match from other cruise lines. Yes, we can absolutely help with that. We've sent quite a few people already on the World America, and we've sent a lot of people on MSC. MSC is a good cruise line. You just have to be aware that the service and the food can be inconsistent, but we have heard that the World America is the most consistent so far. That ship was designed specifically for a North American audience. I mean, they built that terminal in Miami to make a statement that is the largest cruise terminal in the world. They are here to stay, and they are here to play. And they are very intent on taking on Royal. There's a reason why the World America and the Icon sail out on the same day. They are literally going head to head. They want all the Royal Caribbean people to see what kind of hardware MSC had brought in. So all the people on the Icon have to see the World America, and they know that the World America is about half the price and the Icon. So it's going to be very interesting. They will be I think they are the world's third largest cruise line now. They're going to be the second largest pretty soon in terms of ships because they're building so many ships. But, the consistency can be kind of up and down, and the food can be kind of up and down more so than it is on other cruise lines. When you go on Royal Caribbean, when you go on Carnival, you go on Norwegian Cruise Line, there's kind of an expectation of the level of service you're going to get and the level of the food that you're going to get. And with MSC, it kind of goes, you just really don't know sometimes. And that's the only knock on it. But the plus is the prices are so incredibly good on there that you can take families on there. You can just take, vacations on there, and it doesn't break the bank. So, yeah, if you want to talk about MSC, Mike, feel free to reach out. I will be happy to help you out. Sorry, I missed the question.
And if you're really seriously thinking about it, do the status match before you book, because you have the potential to get some discounts.
Yeah. If you status match, depending on what your status match is, you can get 5 to 10% off on your very first cruise. So if you're thinking about status matching, do that before you reach out to me, and then we'll be able to.
Although you do have to be aware, you have to sail at least once every 5 years in order to keep that status. Yeah.
So, but yeah, at the rate that they, at the cost, I think everybody should at least try MSC at least one time, because the rates are just incredibly good. So Katie's going on the Carnival Dream in 41 days. Yay. That's awesome. Have an amazing time. New York Jets, who do I rank number one? I would say
yourself.
Yeah, me. No. It's always the next ship I'm going on. So next week, it'll be the Star of the Seas, going to be the number one ship out there. And then in 2 weeks, it'll be the Brilliant Lady, because that's the one I'm getting on. So I don't have a number one cruise. We've been on 13 cruise lines. It'll be 14 when we get on the Queen Elizabeth. I like trying out cruise lines. I really do. If I was going to book one tomorrow, if you said, hey, Walt, you got to book one tomorrow and we're going out in a week, then it's going to be Explorer Journeys. That I would book an Explorer ship tomorrow just to go back out onto it. But in terms of who's number one, I don't really have a number one. Star's going to be crazy. I had somebody text me last night and go, wow, I'm looking forward to getting back on a Virgin Voyages ship. And I'm like, oh, what'd you expect? Like 7,000 people, probably over 1,000 kids running around on there. It's chaos. It's organized chaos when you go onto an Icon or an Oasis class ship, but it's fun. And it's a style of cruising. And then when you go on to Celebrity, Princess, or especially like an Explorer, very low key, it's very quiet, it's very, one-to-one service. So I like all kinds of cruising. I fully expect to be, in the middle of organized chaos next week. I'm really looking forward to Back to the Future. Oh my gosh, I'm really looking forward to see that. And I'm just, if you're watching me on YouTube and Facebook or LinkedIn, I am flipping through some of our group cruises. We have so many group cruises now, folks. If you want to come cruise with us, I encourage you to go to where'swaltertravel.com, go to group travel. We've got about 6 or 8 cruises on there, including 2 with Tony and Jenny B, La Lida Loca. That'll be sailing both in October and April. So we're very proud to be their travel partner, and we're hosting their group. So I'm just going to kind of flip through them on the screen. We'll talk a little bit about them later as well. But yeah. Carolyn, this is a fun question. Have we ever been on the Queen Mary at Long Beach? Do you think it's haunted? So the Queen Mary is an actual ocean liner that was turned into a hotel, and it kind of fell on some hard times. It's sitting in the Long Beach Pier. It fell on some hard times. It was renovated and it fell on hard times. And now a new buyer came in, bought it, I don't know, a few years ago, fully renovated it. It looks beautiful. I actually have 3 guests. I've already had some guests stay there, but I have 3 guests staying there before our Hawaii cruise in February. In fact, I'll put that up while we're talking about it. But I have 3 separate guests. In fact, I connected them all so they can all go to dinner and maybe they can compare notes on whether their room was haunted. Was there a certain floor that was haunted or something? I can't remember, but yeah, supposedly it is haunted. The hotel I stayed in Cleveland, the Hotel Cleveland, is supposedly the 9th floor is haunted. Who knows? And there was a room 666 that one of my colleagues was staying in. Apparently it was huge too, but nobody wants to stay in that room. So it was absolutely huge. But no, I haven't stayed in it. Has anybody watching, have you stayed in the Queen Mary out in Long Beach, the ocean liner? What a cool way to start your cruise, right? Stay overnight on an ocean liner the night before you cruise. That would be hilarious. John, I missed John. Norwegian Aqua added some time in port since we were on. We have 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Tortola. Is that enough time to do that snorkel trip? No, it is not.
Yeah, and that's only, it's enough hours. It's just the timing of when it happens. Yeah,
the snorkel trip generally starts around 8 or 9, and it ends around 2 or 3. So no, you can't do that trip during that one, which is kind of a shame. Now there will be snorkeling offered by Norwegian. So if you want to do a snorkel trip, go ahead and book one through Norwegian, because then you'll be guaranteed to get back to the ship for sure. User 835, why is an Alaskan cruise so expensive, up to $1,000 more? Because it's a short season and it is in high demand. That's why. Now you can get better deals depending on what cruise line you go on, when you go, like earlier in the season, later in the season, they tend to be a little bit cheaper. If you try to go 3rd week of June to 3rd week of August, that's peak season. That is going to be the most expensive right there. But even there, it just depends on which cruise line and what your priorities are. That will determine how expensive that cruise is going to be. Because remember, there are about 100 ships in Alaska. This is why it's getting so crazy up in Alaska right now, because there's like 100 ships during the peak season. And there are all kinds of options. So if you're looking for an Alaska cruise and you want to try to get something that's a little lower cost, you can certainly reach out. We can get them. We've seen them somewhat cheap, but it's like May, early June, September is where the lower cost ones are, because those are shoulder season. So we can get them, but that is a bucket list and it's a short season. So that's why it goes up. Definitely
not last minute. So you want to book as far out as possible.
Yes. Brian, you are very kind. Brian Montague, I just want to publicly thank Rebecca and you for all the help researching cruise options. You all presented really well-researched choices, and Leanne and I appreciate it. You're welcome. thank you so much. I think, that is the big thing about working with a travel agent. And especially with the type of system that we have now, we use a tool called Turn for Travelers that allows us to present a lot of information in a very useful way, rather than say just an email or just here's a bunch of text. You get the pictures of the ship, you get all the information about every single ship, you get information about the itineraries. We try to present as much information as we can without overloading you, so you can make an informed choice. I really appreciate that, Brian. We try hard.
And one thing to be aware of too is that when we're presenting things, if you're liking parts of one thing and parts of another thing, chances are we still have some other ideas. So don't be afraid. Yes. Don't ever be afraid to, ask us, well, I like this, but I'd rather go here.
Yeah. Or I like this part of, I like what these guys are doing. Do you have something else kind of like that? So,
we like it, but we like it this itinerary, but we'd like to do it on this cruise line. So
we keep working until we find the right vacation for you. And sometimes we start with a cruise and we end up with a land tour, or we start with a land tour, we end up with a cruise, which is what happened with that Scotland and Ireland. Originally, I gave them 5 land tours that were Scotland and Ireland, and then they're like, you know what, we'd rather be on a ship. So then we found the ship instead. So, and we got about a dozen or so land tour partners that I work with as well. So we're not just cruises, we do land tours. And so we can kind of go back and forth.
And we even book theme parks, because we booked one for ourselves.
I know. We're going to Disney World. Yay. Land. We live near Disney World. And Corey, who's one of our new associates, he is going to be taking a deep dive into the Disney training. So when people want to book a Disney vacation, we will probably just slide you over to him, because he's going to go deep into the dining plan and the genie and the fast lane and the whatever the heck is going on over there. He's going to be up on all that stuff. It's just so much. So Mimi has a question. Speaking of the October 3rd Virgin Voyages cruise, we're just going to be amazing. How far in advance can you fill out the Arrive Can form? And Rebecca, thank you for mentioning that in a previous live.
I want to say it's like 3 or 4 days in advance.
Yeah.
I'm going to start checking it. Like, I have it on my calendar to start checking it about a week before.
Yeah.
But it'll show you the dates and I want to say it's like 3 days, but I'm just going to keep checking.
Yeah,
once it gets close,
we'll take a look too, and we'll probably drop an email to everybody that we've got in our group on that one. I already have my account set up, so I have the app on my phone, so I'm ready to go for whenever those particular dates come up on there. Yeah. So there is a form called Arrive Can when you're like flying into Canada, and they have to do that on the cruises that end in Vancouver as well? Or I can't remember.
I think it's just for flying into Canada.
Yeah, so flying into Canada, there is a form called Arrive Can.
And it's not 100% required. It will speed up your kind of customs situation.
Yeah. So, it'll definitely speed up everything to have that pre-filled out if you can. So, and we're kind of on last call with this Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady. This is a 13-night cruise, October 3rd through the 16th this year. We're going to start in Quebec. We'll do St. John's, Halifax, Eastport, Maine, Boston, Massachusetts, Charleston, South Carolina, and then we come into Miami. So it's a Canada, New England cruise and a repositioning cruise, basically all in one. It's going to be a fabulous cruise. We have 14 hours in Boston. We got 12 hours in St. John, 12 hours in Halifax, and 12 hours in Charleston. So all kinds of time to go spend and even have dinner, out and about if you want to. So, Mimi, nice shout out to Rebecca. Your research is outstanding. And it is. Rebecca does the majority of the research in our company, and she's been doing it, for almost 3 years now. And before that, almost 20 years researching all of our cruises. She's almost got it down to a science now. And when you guys pick out a region, she already knows that, okay, that region, that time, I probably want to start here. But then she's always just running around and looking, maybe Norwegian now added something, maybe Celebrity added something now. So we're always checking out, because they are changing. All of the cruise lines are starting to realize maybe we shouldn't have the same ships in the same place doing the same itinerary every single year. They're starting to shift the ships around. Maybe it's the same itinerary, but it's a new ship. Norwegian just did that recently where they flip-flopped 2 ships. So it does take time, but the more Rebecca does it, the more, she dives in, and she really does come up with some really interesting choices.
And there are some times where I have to research topics that I'm not necessarily familiar with. Like we had somebody who was thinking about going to Alaska with their very small children. Mm-hmm. And once I did more research into what's involved in bringing, your very small children along, they decided that maybe they would go by themselves this time.
Right.
Because, it's a lot of it's
just
like,
let the kid get a little bit older before you bring
well,
them
yeah. And then a lot of it is to do with most of the kids clubs, and every cruise line's different, but most of the kids clubs don't start until you're 3 years old. And even then you have to be fully potty trained because they will not assist with the bathroom. So there's a lot of issues with, not being it. If you have kids younger than 3, it's okay maybe in the Caribbean where you don't necessarily feel the need to go out and about and sightsee every single port.
And if you're bringing a grandparent along that can watch the kid while you go off and do things, that's also something too. But in this particular case, it was just going to be them with their kids, and they're like, all right, so we'll do Alaska on our own now and bring the kids like in a few years or something like that. I will remind you on TikTok, if you're trying to ask me questions about Virgin Voyages, you cannot use the word Virgin. You got to use the letters VV or the name of the ship. It's not me. That's TikTok doing it. So I apologize for that. if you're trying to ask those questions. So, and of course, the big thing that we're talking about a lot is this Christmas Rivers cruise. I mean, you literally have 2 years to pay for it. That's one of the reasons why we opened it so early. September 8th of 2027 is when the final payment will be due. Now, the deposit is non-refundable, so I like to make sure everybody knows that up front. So it's going to be a $250 per person deposit, but you can change ship and sail date if for whatever reason you end up not being able to go on the Christmas time on the Rhine. Then you could always go on a different river cruise. Sue and Phil, thank you so much for the answer. It's 72 hours prior to going to Canada that the form needs to be filled out. Appreciate that, guys. Really do. I wish you guys were going on the Rhine with us, but have we heard of an airstrike in Italy on September 6th? I have not. Rebecca, have you seen anything about that?
No. I mean, I know of the problems they've been having with Air Canada, but I haven't heard, but it doesn't surprise me. There are pretty much somebody's going to be on strike somewhere in Europe at all times. Mm-hmm. Like I did a semester in college in Denmark, and the museum guides all went on strike, and I did not realize this, went to Hamlet's Castle and just got to walk around the outside.
Nice. Celeste is going to Celebration Key tomorrow and Half Moon Key on Tuesday. That'll be a lot of fun. Have a great time over there. We're going to get down to Celebration Key at some point. We haven't figured out when we're going to go yet, but at some point we'll get ourselves on down to Celebration Key as well. So have fun. You have to let us know how it is. Miss you guys. Say hello to my brother Walter, the other Walter Jr. So say hello to him for me. But yeah, that's great. That is absolutely great. I know they had kind of some sad news recently out of Celebration Key. So, just be safe when you're down there. It's a big place. The water's deep, and these are big lagoons and whatnot. So, you still got to practice safety while you're out and about in the water. So just be careful down there. Just like when we go to Coco Cay in a couple of weeks, you got to be careful there. You never know with the waters and all that kind of stuff. So, Dale, you said you sent me an email for pricing on the Christmas cruise. I can tell you that the pricing starts at $43.01 per person. That will be the deluxe. They call it the deluxe room. It's a room that's under the waterline with the 2 windows up above. And also, I'll tell you, Dale, the pricing is on my website. The pricing is not hidden. So if you go to my website, where'swaltertravel.com, and go to group travel, it's the first banner in group travel. down near the bottom of the page. I have the staterooms, I have the pricing, I have everything right there. The pricing includes the $250 per person discount that that Avalon is running until the end of the month. So after the end of the month, rates will bump up. But the good news is that we'll be locking in our group rates until we run out of inventory. Once we run out of inventory, then we won't have the group pricing anymore. But yeah, so the rates are on the site. If anybody's interested to know what are the rates, you can just simply go there. I've got the pricing for both double occupancy and for solo. Yes, there is a solo supplement. It's somewhat significant. Again, you know, somebody did ask about Alaska and why are the Alaska cruises so expensive. It's the same thing with the Christmas markets. River cruises are more expensive just by their nature. You're talking about 100 to 160 people on a ship, so that's going to be more expensive. And then you throw in the Christmas markets, which is only 4 weeks out of the entire year.
Less than that, actually.
Yeah,
probably
it's
more
like 3.5 weeks. Yeah, because those markets don't open until like November 28th.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then they close up on December 22nd, 23rd. It's a very tight window to get in. It's not like here where Christmas starts at Halloween. And it just goes on. So yeah, it's a very tight window. So that's why the rates are a bit higher. And again, that's why we opened it up so early. So you guys can have 2 full years to pay for it. So yeah, so we're pretty excited about that one. And we're really excited about the response. We knew it was going to be a popular cruise. We just didn't know it was going to be this popular. So we're really, and even Corey is coming in. I think Corey is potentially got another one. So yeah, between Corey and us, geez, it is already kind of crazy. Nurse Tara, do I know what ship will replace the Meraviglia in New York? I don't offhand. I'm surprised it's not on the itineraries yet. Rebecca's going to see if she can find out. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's not on the itineraries already, and whether it'll be another Meraviglia class or it'll be something else. But yeah, no, I don't know. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I wonder if TikTok kind of stalled out again. It stalled out on us last week where people were trying to ask us questions for like 10 minutes and I never saw the question. So I'm still seeing user 835. Thanks for the 411. You're welcome. That's the last thing that I see on TikTok. So people are asking, more questions. I am not seeing it. This happened last week.
They haven't announced a replacement yet.
They have not announced a replacement yet. Okay, so there you go. So we don't know. You just have to tune in and wait, Nurse Tara, to find out. And I'm going to see, gosh, we're going to see you in like 3 weeks now. You're going to be on the Brilliant Lady with us sailing out of, that's going to be our first. Okay, thank you, Barbara. I just wanted to make sure because last week it literally stalled out and somebody's like, I asked you a question 3 times and I never saw it. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, Nurse Tara, that's going to be our very first sail away from New York City. So we're very excited. We're coming in a day early, maybe going to see a show, maybe going to have dinner. And then I'm really excited too that on the day that we come back to New York City on September 15th, I'm having dinner with one of my clients and his husband, and I'm just so excited to finally meet them. Yeah, there's just, I love the fact that so many of our clients have just kind of become friends. We try to treat you guys like friends, and we seem to have really, really good clients. And it's just a joy to actually get to meet you. So they live in New York City, and they're like, all right, we're going out to dinner when you come up here. They happen to be on the Mermaiden of the Brilliant Lady. So they're going to be on the ship the 5th through the 10th, and then we'll be on the ship 10th through the 15th. So it's just kind of funny. I tried to get them to do a back-to-back so they'd stay on, but oh, well, couldn't do it. Darla, you can't wait for your Caribbean cruise with Explorer. You are going to be so spoiled. From San Juan to Miami. We'll need to get with you on a pre-post hotel and potentially land activity. By all means, yeah, that is something that we do. We can book the hotels, we can book the flights, we can help you with shore tours and things like that. Very often, like with tours, we'll point you in the right direction. You're going to book those yourself, but we can certainly point you in the direction and say, here's a couple of things that you might want to consider. Big tip, Betty was here just a little while ago. Betty turned us on to Get Your Guide. Get Your Guide. They have phenomenal tours all over. We booked a few of those in Canada, right? While we're up in Canada. and one in Charleston as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're trying them out, and Betty was right. I mean, they have tours on there that simply don't show up on some of the other.
Yeah.
Like we love Venture Ashore, we love Shore Excursions Group because they have that return to ship guarantee, but they don't always have like
the biggest
tours
selection.
the biggest selection. Whereas Get Your Guide, I mean, they have a tremendous selection.
Yeah, at least the places
we've been
we've
very
looked
impressed
so far.
We've been so thank you, Betty and Jim, for turning us on to that.
And they don't have the return to ship guarantee, but whenever we're doing one of their tours while we're on the ship, we always make sure to book something where there's like tons of time to get back to the ship. Right. So even if something goes wrong, we've got so much time.
Peggy wants to know, what trips do we have for November and December that are available? We only have one in December if you're talking about a group. If you're just talking about booking any trip, well, there's tons available. We would just have to get with you. But the trip that we're going on is the Kunard Queen Elizabeth for Christmas. That will be December 18th through the 30th. That's a round trip Miami for 12 days. We leave Miami, we go to San Juan, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Martin, Tortola. It's a fabulous itinerary. We'll be on board for Christmas, obviously. And that is a distinctive voyage. And if you book through me or any other Travel Leaders Network travel agent, included with the cruise fare will be the services of a distinctive Voyages host, or a concierge, if you will. That's actually going to be me. And we'll have a welcome reception included. And there is a shore excursion included in St. Lucia. All of that is free of charge. It's included with just booking with a distinctive voyage travel agent. I got the news. We got like 42, 45 people that are in the distinctive voyages group. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be my first time hosting as a distinctive voyage host. And if you want to see me in a tuxedo, I will probably be wearing a tuxedo at least one day during that. I mean, come on, I'm going on Kunard. I don't wear suits. I'm going to go for the tux. Although Gary did just say recently that they've relaxed that dress code. You don't necessarily need suits anymore, which I think was a good move. You can require the jacket, that's fine, but don't necessarily require the suit. But I'm probably still going to get the tuxedo because I am going on Kunard, so I want to wear the tux. Why not? Why not? I mean, Gary looks good in it. I don't know how good I'm going to look in it. I don't know if I'll look good as Gary, but Gary's got the height. He's a taller guy. I think him and Mark really looks good in a tuxedo. I'm not going to look as good, but I'm going to enjoy it. Maybe I'll get a little penguin hat to go with it, so I can just be a little penguin walking around. I'm actually looking forward to it. We wanted to go on Kunard forever. I thought it was going to be a transatlantic. We finally got on a Kunard, but it's going to be Miami, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So Barbara loves St. Lucia. You spent 10 days there at Sandals Grand St. Lucia. I'll tell you, Sandals is something I really didn't know much about until we became a travel agent, and their resort in St. Vincent. Oh my God, I have to get down there so badly. And Mindy's going to be connecting with those guys very soon because they actually have a diving coordinator, and Mindy's going to be setting up diving trips. So, I need to connect them. I should do that this week. But yes, Sandals is one of the resorts that we sell. We sell quite a few, I should say we represent quite a few all-inclusive resorts as well. But yeah, Sandals, wow. I really didn't know much about them before. I knew the name, obviously, because of all the ads. But now that I'm on this side, it's like, oh my gosh, there is a lot going on with Sandals as well. So yeah, that sounds wonderful. Betty, you use your Get Your Guide extensively in London and Norway. All worked as well. Good. SL, they have a good selection of excursions available during your Mediterranean trip next spring. You'll be looking at them. And again, they do not have a return to ship guarantee. So what you want to do, make sure you get the early ones. Get something that's going to give you, at least like 4 hours or 3 hours before before the ship departs. So if anything goes wrong or something happens, you got a little cushion to get back to the ship. But yeah, Betty and Jim, they turned us on to them. We took a look at them, and we're going to start using them ourselves. We just have to be cautious in recommending them to clients. We have to give you that caveat, the big asterisk that says they do not guarantee that you're going to get back. So use them at your own risk, but use them smartly. Don't book a trip that's going to get you back 15 minutes before all aboard. You do not want to do that. The only time you do that is through a cruise line.
For example, in Charleston, we're actually doing two tours the day we're in Charleston. The first one is a food tour through Get Your Guide, and the other one's a ghost tour, but that one we're doing through Virgin Voyages.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get back so close to.
Actually, at all aboard time is when it ends.
So.
Yeah, we had that too when we were on the Norwegian Escape, and we did a sunset catamaran in Saint something, and the return time for the boat was all aboard time. But we knew the ship was going to wait for us because we're on a Norwegian ship. And they tried to tell us as we were heading, because, you know, everybody's coming on to the ship and we're walking off. And they also, the crew knew that we were the ones going on the catamaran. They're like, now make sure you run back to the ship when we get back. And we're like, we're not running back to the ship. You guys got to wait for us. This is your excursion. And then as it turned out, we were like 15 minutes late getting tied up. So it was even later than that. But yeah, if you're going to do an excursion that is right up against sail away, make sure it is a cruise line excursion. So, oh, look at that. Cheryl saying that they went horseback riding in St. Martin. It was a blast. You went through the woods and ended in ocean water. That's pretty cool. We did horseback riding in Alaska, of all places. How about that? Phil and Sue are saying that Spain day tours are good in Spain. I actually have a vendor, day trips, that do day trips all over the world as well. And one of their specialities too, you know, let's say you come back to the cruise port at 8 in the morning, like we all do, you know, 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and your flight is until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They will pick you up and then take you out on a day trip locally, whatever you want to do. And then at the end of that little day trip, they'll go drop you off at the airport. So you don't have to stay at the airport all day. You can at least do a little something. And it doesn't have to be on a bus with 40 other people through the cruise lines. You know, a lot of the cruise lines will do that, especially here in Florida. You know, you go to the Everglades or you go to this place or that place, and then the whole bus takes you to the airport. Well, we got a company called Day Trips that will actually do that as well. Pick you up on a little trip, you know, whatever you want to do. So yeah, that is a really good thing too. I do want to mention, I keep showing it, and I do want to mention it because this is another one of those big bucket trips that we've had quite a bit of interest on. It's our Italy cruise. We're doing Italy and Croatia in 26, in October of 26. This is going to be the Celebrity Constellation, October 23rd through November 2nd. We're going to start in Ravenna, which is the large ship port for Venice. It's about 3.5 hours outside of Venice. So we're going to start in Ravenna. We'll go to Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and then finally ending up in Civitavecchia, which is your gateway to go up to Rome. It's about an hour outside of Rome. That's going to be October 23rd through November 2nd. Our group rates with the basic Wi-Fi, with the basic beverage package is lower than Celebrity's base rate right now. And I think I've got about 6 cabins left. I've got one veranda category and one concierge balcony category. I've got those 2 categories, but my rate with the package is lower than Celebrity's price without the package. And that's because I locked down the rates about a year ago. So if you want to go to Italy and Croatia, I've got a really good deal. This is one of those where I actually do have a really good deal for Italy and Croatia on the Celebrity Constellation. It's a perfect ship for this trip. It's just plus or minus 2,000 guests. It's one of their smaller ships. If you have the time and the wherewithal, Rebecca and I are actually going to stay on the ship November 2nd, and she's going to do a transatlantic cruise coming to San Juan that will end up on November 17th. Peggy says when? October 23rd through November 2nd of 2026. If you want to see any of our group cruises, simply head to where'swaltertravel.com and go to our group travel page. There are banners for all of these trips. You click that banner and it takes you to the page that shows you everything about the trip. But this is the Celebrity Constellation. And again, our rates with the packages are lower than Celebrity's base rate right now. And that's because we locked in the rates a year ago. So once again, October 23rd through November 2nd of 2026. That is the 10-day Italy and Croatia cruise. And then if you have the wherewithal and you can stay on the ship for another 15 days, it has a transatlantic that goes from Civitavecchia over to San Juan. So Rebecca and I are going to be on the ship for 25 days next year. Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. So it is going to be, yeah, Benny, the trip does sound amazing. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. So we've been wanting to do this one. In fact, I just booked somebody for this year to do this 2027. We're booking them right after. I'm booking an anniversary cruise for 2027. It's the same cruise, but in the reverse order, for a dear friend of mine, actually, up in New York. That's right. Yeah. That's who we're booking. Yeah. But yeah, so a good friend of mine, I'm going to book them on the same ship. So if you want to come on that one, and again, if you just simply go to where'swaltertravel.com, click on the group travel, everything that we have, including a distinctive voyage in 2027 that we haven't even talked about yet, which is a Holland America cruise, but I don't want to confuse you guys. But if you go to the website, you will see everything is there. Yeah, we're just so friggin' excited about all these. And of course, we're really excited about the Christmas time on the Rhine. We know you guys are too. So yeah, Peggy, please do check out the site. We try to put everything up there. We're travel partners with La Lita Loca as well. So you're going to see 2 of Tony and Jenny B's cruises on there. The one sailing out of Philadelphia, I can tell you, has about 225 people on it currently. And the one out of New York is getting close to being closed. That is October 11th through the 18th. I think there's about 55 people on that one or something like that. So yeah, it's going to be really nice. I know Tony and Jenny B are like, man, we wish you guys were with us on that one in October, but we're going to be on the Brilliant Lady instead. So that we're going to kind of wave as y'all are getting ready for that one. But yeah, that's what we got going on. We got a lot of really good stuff going on. We're really excited about, just everything that's going on with that. We're excited that we got Mindy and Corey now coming on board. Corey's actually on the Star of the Seas right now. He's checking it out, seeing what it's all about. He's doing one of those short little preview cruises. And then Stephanie and I are going to be on for a full week. So next Sunday, I'll be live, but we won't be live at 10:30 in the morning. I'll be live. I don't know what time Sail Away is. I'll probably be live around Sail Away on the Star of the Seas next week instead. So that'll be a lot of fun. And it may just be on TikTok, unless I set up 2 phones. Maybe I'll set up the 2 phones so I can do YouTube and TikTok at the same time. So next Sunday, I'll be live in the afternoon or early evening. And then I'll be live. I'm going to try and do multiple lives from the ship while we're on it. And then the following Sunday, coming home, so it won't be live in the morning again. And then the Sunday after that, I'll be on the Brilliant Lady. So we're going to be live coming from ships for a while after this one. And then, of course, Thursday night, if you weren't here earlier, Thursday night, I got Celebrity Cruises coming on. Alex from Celebrity Cruises is coming on at 8 o'clock on Thursday night. For those of you watching on TikTok, that'll be over on our YouTube channel. But Alex from Celebrity will be on from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. He's not going to have any answers on the rivers other than what's publicly available, because they don't tell them. They know that if they tell the reps are going to tell us. They just can't help it. So, but if you're going to be around Thursday night at 8 p.m., certainly join in. It's Alex. We just met Alex this past week. Super nice guy. I found out he's going to be my new roller coaster buddy now. So that's awesome. I'm always looking for a roller coaster buddy. I love roller coasters. I've got to get a year pass to SeaWorld, because they actually have some of the best coasters in town. So, Nurse Tara, are we going to go live from Brilliant? Probably. I think I'll have the time. That's going to be a packed week for me on the Brilliant, just because we're hosting around 200 people on that one for a user conference, and I'm actually a featured speaker. It's actually, believe it or not, we're going to have about 100 travel agents on that one, so be prepared. But it's a user conference for travel agents for that Turn for Travelers tool that we use with all you guys. They're hosting a user conference on board the ship, and I'm the travel agent for that particular one, and I'm also a featured speaker. So I think I'm going to go live from the ship, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I have the time. It's going to be a packed schedule that entire week. So, and we're doing something in Bermuda, right? Did you book something in Bermuda?
Yeah, we have 2 things booked in Bermuda.
Right, and those are through Virgin?
Yes, although one of them, they may not both stick.
Gotcha. So we may end up canceling one. You never know. And that is another thing, about booking through the cruise line too. And whenever you book an independent excursion, always make sure to check their cancellation policy to make sure that you can cancel the trip and get your money back. Or that's another thing that I like about Shore Excursions Group and Venture Ashore. They have a don't port, don't pay policy, so you don't even have to get in touch with them. They keep track of whether the ship is coming in, and if the ship doesn't come in, they just automatically refund you. So that's right, Nurse Tara. I can tell the guys at Turn you are one of the reasons why we did it, because you were confusing us. You had like 8 cruises booked on 2 different ships. You had like 4 on Celebrity, 4 on Carnival, and we couldn't keep up. We couldn't keep things straight. So we had to get a new tool to manage, and we ended up finding Turn. And so the founders, the CEO, the CFO, the technicians, everybody's going to be on that ship. So at some point, I'll have to introduce you to David, who is the CEO. Very, very nice guy. And just say, there she is. She's the reason why we had to get your tool. Yeah, you like Santa? This is what they call a little bouncy Santa. He's on a spring. I love this guy. I have a snowman as well. So yeah, these guys are just a lot of fun. They're like 2 of my favorite decorators. We've had these guys a long time. Surprised at how well they've held up. Got them at BJ's Wholesale. I still remember that. So yeah. But yeah, he's a good little reminder that we have an amazing, river cruise going on. I know I keep putting it on the screen. I'm probably driving you guys nuts, but I love this cruise. Just love this cruise so much. I cannot wait to go on it. Really hope. So like I said, I expect that we will get on a river ship next year. So we can at least go out and experience it. I know that KHM Travel Group, they have like these leadership events on the river ships, and I'm very fortunate to be in that position right now with KHM, that I may get to go on a river ship with them, and then we may find something else that we might go on to, because I would like to get on a river ship before this, so at least we have a little more preparation for the experience and all that. We've sent quite a few people on the river ships, and we've done the training, and we understand the rivers, and we get a lot of great information from our clients. It is really interesting, some of the nuances between the various cruise lines. We talk about Viking sometimes on here. Of course, Viking is the most well-known. They have the most ads out there. That's what everybody thinks about when it comes to the rivers. The only thing you have to be aware of with Viking is that they have a payment policy that requires you to pay in full 18 to 24 months before departure. And that's only for Americans. That's not for Europeans. I did find out it's not because they're trying to favor Europeans. It's because of the laws in Europe. They can't do that. But I guess whatever the laws are here in the U.S., they are allowed to do that. So that's the only thing you have to be aware that you have to pay in full, like 18 months, sometimes closer to 24 months. So that's why, like with Avalon, the final payment, it's going to be due 90 days before we sail. It's September 8th of 2027. So if you put down your deposit today, you literally have 24 months to pay for this cruise. And that's a big reason why we selected. It really came down to Avalon and Ama. And Avalon just has those panoramic suites with all glass. And it's like, we don't need an outdoor balcony in December. You're not going to use an outdoor balcony. We're probably barely going to use deck 4 because it's going to be so cold. But you'll be able to enjoy it. And then their lounges, basically like 180-degree glass. So you can just look out all around. So it just seems so well set up for a cold river cruise. Of course, it'd be beautiful for warm as well, but especially for cold season. So Cheryl, you just checked out the Christmas Market River website. It's fabulous. Tons of info. Well done. Great job. Thank you. I was up till 3:30 in the morning on the day that I did that, because I was like, I'll just do one more thing. Just do one more thing. Do just one more thing. It just kept going. I couldn't stop. And I was shocked the next day when I looked at it. I only had like 2 or 3 errors. The whole thing, like 2 or 3 mistakes in the whole thing. Barbara wants to know what's the dress code on Avalon. Typically, it would be something like business casual in the evenings. However, at Christmas time and in the winter, that kind of goes out the window. Everybody's in jeans and sweaters just because it's cold. You're not going to put on some fancy dress to go to dinner or something like that. So typically it would be like business casual in the evenings, maybe slacked with a button-down shirt for the men, things like that. But in the wintertime, during Christmas, that kind of goes out the window. It's whatever keeps you warm. Because the ship could be a little bit chilly because of all that glass. the ships can be a little bit chilly. And plus, people are opening, closing doors all the time, going up and down. So there's a lot of air coming into the ship. So for the Christmas market, it's going to be a very casual dress code for the whole thing. But thank you for asking. That's great. SL, you're taking a look at Spain day tour. I know. I love that everybody here shares information. That is so absolutely fabulous. Thank you guys for sharing. But yeah, so the dress code typically might be a little, yeah, a little, I don't want to say stuffy, maybe a little bit more dressy. Hey, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Whoops. I'm hitting this stuff. I'm hitting everything over here. Rebecca's just got to clean up some trash. Thank you. Thank you for that, Rebecca. So let's see, what else we're going to talk about. I want to bring this. Do women, oh, this is a great question, Nurse Tara. Do women really get dressed up on Virgin at night? You're trying to plan your outfit for brilliant. So this actually goes right back to the dress code on Avalon. Virgin literally does not have a dress code.
Well,
you can show up. You just can't show up in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
You can wear gym shorts and a t-shirt to any restaurant if you wanted to. But what I find on Virgin, because it's adults only, and because you're going to restaurants, like you're not going to a main dining room. Like who wants to dress up for a main dining room? Seriously, even on gala night, you're still going to a big main dining room. But when you go Virgin Voyages, you are actually going to an Italian restaurant. You are going to a steak restaurant. You're going to a Mexican restaurant. I find that people put more effort into their dress. I don't. I'm still going to do my jeans and my button-down shirt. I'm still relaxed. I'm on vacation.
See, I'd say it's about 50-50.
Yeah. But
some people are dressing up. Some people are just in shorts and shirts.
Yeah, I mean, I think those who do dress up, they really do. Like they go to the nines on it. And then you'll see people literally like in a basketball tank top and gym shorts sitting there. So it goes both ways. Scarlet Night, yes. Scarlet Night, you're going to see lots of people just going all out. Again, I don't.
But that's just in red. It's not necessarily dressy red.
Yeah, but it can be extremely dressy as well. So
not that I've ever worn red on Scarlet Night.
Yeah. Richard wants to know, what did we think of the Margaritaville Islander? Loved it. Fun ship. Really fun ship. Great crew. Better than expected entertainment. I mean, the music is great. I mean, you would expect the music to be good on a Jimmy Buffett themed ship. Music is really good. For what you're paying, the food is excellent. In fact, the JWB Steakhouse is actually, it's a really good steak. It's a legit steakhouse. It's a really good steakhouse. The main dining room, when it's good, it's really good. When they miss, but that's true of any main dining room out there. The buffet is surprisingly good. The pizza, very surprisingly good. I love the pizza.
I'd say the buffet is definitely more limited than what you might be used to.
Yeah, it's much smaller. Much smaller. But the pizza is really good. The cheeseburgers in Paradise, they're righteous. Great breakfast tip at the breakfast burritos out at the Mexican Cutie Cantina. Really, really good. And the sushi, I thought the sushi was better the first time we went because they had the sushi chef actually out there making it. Now the sushi comes out from a back room, so I don't know if it's made in advance and it just sits there or if somebody's making it back there. But I liked it more when they had the sushi chefs out front where you could actually see them. So it wasn't quite as good the last time. But yeah, Margaritaville Islander is a really, really good product. And the casino is non-smoking, which I appreciate that. So you can walk through and you don't have to go through all the smoke. So I do really appreciate that it is non-smoking. Yeah, but it's a great product. Barbara says, I can't wait to see where the Beachcomber is going to be home ported. I know, we're all waiting. There's all this speculation out there. Mobile, Galveston, another Florida. I don't know. We got to wait and see. New York, who knows? Will they put it in New York? That'd be interesting. I think Margaritaville's got to get to the West Coast too at some point. I mean, the Islander is a Spirit class ship, and Spirit class ships can go through the Panama Canal. Why not send it through the Panama Canal? That'd be kind of cool. Send it out over to the West Coast. I think it'd be kind of cool if they sent the ship through the canal, maybe do 1 or 2 in LA, maybe take a little meander up to Alaska, do 1 or 2 in Alaska, come back through the Panama Canal. So who knows? There's all kinds of speculation. We know that it's not going to Tampa because it can't fit under the bridge. That's the only place where we know it's not going. But other than that, Margaritaville is being very tight-lipped on where she's going. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
There's probably a few other ports with bridges that we could probably eliminate too. But
yeah. Silver Honda, 104 days and counting until Grandeur of the Seas. What a great classic ship. Looking forward to driving over the Skyway Bridge to get to the Tampa cruise port, and then you're going to go under the Skyway Bridge. It's a cool bridge. It really is a cool bridge. And if you're up really early in the morning when it comes back, they do this whole light show on it, which is really, really cool. I like that as well. But yeah, that is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Barbara said Mobile is only 45 minutes from you. Yay! Vince, Philadelphia. Well, the Beachcomber won't go to Philadelphia because it can't get under the bridge. I don't know if the Islander could even get under that bridge. We're going to be on the Norwegian Jewel coming out of Philadelphia, so we know she can get under the bridges. I think there's 2 bridges we need to get under as we go out. So, but yeah, the Beachcomber certainly won't be going there if she can't get under the Skyway Bridge. I doubt she can get under those. So, so short about people having. Silver Honda saw something about people fighting on a Carnival ship late night. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that. People fight about the stupidest things, and usually there's alcohol involved somewhere. There's usually alcohol involved somewhere. And more often than not, I mean, it's not always on these short cruises, but more often than not, it is on these 3 and 4 night cruises, which unfortunately are booze cruises for a lot of people. That's why we really don't like to go on them. One, just because it's too short anyway. You get on the ship and you just start to get used to it, and then you're going to get kicked off. So I really don't like the 3 and 4 night cruises. And the biggest reason why I don't like it is because there will be a subset of people, a larger subset of people. I have the drinks package. I got 3 nights. I got 4 nights. I'm going to get everything I can out of it. It's basically a Las Vegas weekend. So I don't really enjoy the short ones. Now, I am going to go on the Utopia just to try it out because I want to see what that's all about. And I follow Mark Walker all the time, who's a great cruise director. But Rebecca, you got something?
Yeah, I would say even though we are seeing more fights on various cruise ships, not just Carnival, it's a lot to do with the fact that everybody's got a phone in their hand. Mm-hmm. So these have been happening, but it's also, if you consider the amount of people and the amount of ships that are going out every day, it's probably 1 or 2% of ships that might have a fight on it at some point.
Exactly.
So really, we have never, in all our cruises, we have never seen a fight. We've seen some people get loud and argue, but we've not seen a physical altercation.
A couple times too, especially when people are extremely rude. They won't let us get off the elevator. I'll let you know that I'm not happy about that. I had literally had a guy on a Norwegian Aqua just like push right by me as like the door opens. We just start to step off, and he just pushes right on by me to get on. I was rather vocal about that one, and I don't mind being rather vocal about that because that's just downright rude. But we've never seen a fight in 20 years of cruising. I guess we're missing out. We're missing out on a part of cruising. I have no idea. So, but Vince wants to know: do we have a cruise line preference? It's all about the cruising style. What kind of a cruise do we want to go on right now? And, I think right now, I said it earlier, if you were to give me money and say, hey, you're going to go on a ship tomorrow, I would pick Explora just because I really enjoy the food. I enjoy the small. I enjoy the rooms. But I'm going on Star of the Seas next Sunday, and I am so looking forward to it. I mean, that's just the biggest, baddest ship. You could take like the Azamar Journey that we were on last year for Christmas and probably drop it right into Central Park. That ship is so small, but I flat out loved it. So I don't have a cruise line preference. I have a cruise experience preference depending on the type of vacation that we're going to take. And I have found, especially around Christmas time and New Year's, which is going to be our 3rd year in a row that we've done Christmas, which is kind of crazy. I do like smaller. I don't want to be on the big family ship because they are really loud at Christmas time. Obviously, everybody's coming on with their families. So when we're out for the holidays, I have found that I do like the smaller ship for sure. But it all just depends. Like, I had a great time on the Mardi Gras. I had a great time on the Oasis class ships. So I don't really have a cruise line preference. The one that I think we've been on the most is Virgin. We really do like that cruise line a lot. I'm going to be on them twice. Going to be 2.5 weeks. We'll be on Brilliant Lady, and then we're going to be on Brilliant Lady again in October. But I don't really have a cruise line preference. I have a preference for the type of vacation that I want to take, and that will determine the cruise line and the ship. Yeah, but I like them all. Like, Star of the Seas is going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely. It's going to be the first 7-night cruise. It was supposed to be the inaugural cruise, actually. I always tell everybody, don't book the inaugural cruise, but Stephanie really wanted to go on the inaugural cruise, so we booked it together. Now it's the 6th cruise, maybe, which I'm totally fine with. I'm absolutely fine that they're doing this because, let them figure out all the problems before we get on. It sounds like the ship's been running great. Back to the Future started right on time. The Aqua Theater show was ready. It's completely different than the Icon, where things just weren't quite ready. Especially that Aqua show was not ready at all. So it's good to see that everything is running. In fact, that Twerk show looks insane. I'm looking forward to it. So Silver Honda, have we ever cruised to Hawaii? Well, we have a cruise actually next February. There's 2 ways to cruise to Hawaii. One, you can do a round trip from California. That's either going to be Los Angeles or San Francisco, usually.
Well,
maybe San Diego might be there if it's Holland America. But if you do it round trip from LA, that's going to be a minimum 15 days just because of the time it takes to get out to the islands and get back. So our cruise is going to be February 4th to the 20th, 2026 on the Emerald Princess. That has 10 sea days on it. And then we get to go around 4 of the islands before we come back. And then we've got to hit Ensenada, which, you got to go to Mexico. So it's a total of 16 days cruising. That's one way to do it. The other way you can cruise Hawaii is you fly to the islands, and then Norwegian Cruise Line, they're the only ones to have a ship. They have the Pride of America that does a 7-day inter-island cruise. And you can also do, I think they have a 10 and 11-day cruise tour where you can add, 3 or 4 days on land, either before or after the cruise with Norwegian. Those are the only 2 ways to do it, predominantly. The only other way to do it would be as part of repositioning. So very often the ships that are going to Australia and the South Pacific, they are the same ones that do Alaska. So on their way to Alaska, they'll stop in Hawaii and then go on up, or they'll come down from Vancouver, Seattle, stop in Hawaii, and then keep on going down to the South Pacific. But in general, the 2 ways to do it are from California round trip, or you fly to Hawaii. So yeah, so you can do that, and I can certainly help book that.
And from California ones generally only happen in the winter, because that's when those ships are done with Alaska.
Yep, like the Emerald. Well, I don't think the Emerald Princess is doing Alaska. I don't know what she's doing. No,
but I mean, in general, it's not going to happen in the summer.
Yeah. Vince, favorite part of cruising, meeting all my fellow cruisers. Really, I mean, I love the food. The ocean views are the thing that I missed the absolute most when we were all in that forced timeout and couldn't get back on a ship. So that's why if you go to my YouTube channel, you will find now well over 50 hours of ocean views from balconies, from all areas of the ship, because that's what I missed the most. And I said to Rebecca, when we get back on the ship, I'm not going to take that for granted again. I'm going to make sure that I film. So every ship that I go on, I film at least another 2, sometimes 4 hours. While we were in Alaska, I filmed something like 10 hours or 12 hours of footage from the balconies, which if you go to my channel, it's called the Cruise Relaxation playlist. So that's what I love the most, is being able to sit and look at the ocean. But my second favorite part, just meeting fellow travelers, because you meet people from all over the world. And when you travel, especially as much as we do now, you meet so many people and so many perspectives. It really takes you out of your head. When you live in one country or you live in one area, you keep getting fed the same information, the same news, the same ideas, the same this. And then you meet people from other places, and it's like, oh, I never thought about it from that perspective. I never knew about this. I never knew about that. So I really love meeting my fellow travelers, and we've developed friendships with multiple travelers, and now with quite a few of with our clients, which is super cool too. SL says seems that the short cruises might not give a true representation of cruising. Does that ring true? For me, it does. They're more of like a sample. The short cruises. So the short cruises are great for people that just don't have the time. Look, I can't take a week off. And that's why you see Royal Caribbean came out with the Utopia of the Seas specifically. It used to be that the 3 and 4 night cruises got the worst hardware. They got the 25-year-old ships that maybe hadn't gone in the dry dock for 8 years. Yeah, you know what? They're only doing a 3-night cruise. Let's just give them the old ship. That totally changed. Now Royal Caribbean comes out and said, we're going to give you brand new hardware. We're going to give you the best ship that we have. And that's going to be your 3 or 4 night cruise. This is going to be a better representation of what Royal Caribbean is all about. So now the cruise lines are rethinking these 3s and 4s and saying, we want to put our best foot forward so that when you think about your next cruise, when you do a 1-week cruise, when you do a 2-week cruise, you will think about us, because that Utopia of the Seas, that wonder of the seas, holy crap, did I have a great time. Now Carnival saying, hey, we're going to give you the Mardi Gras, which is one of our best ships out there. So to me, it's not really a true representation of you don't get that relaxation point, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure there's people that come on and just chill for 3 days or 4 days. But for the most part, those 3 and 4 day cruises, they are packed with a lot of stuff going on. And it's kind of hard to ignore that. You're like, oh man, this thing's going, I want to go do that. And then, oh man, that thing's going on, I want to go do that. So I think previously it wasn't the best representation. I think it's getting better now that they're putting out the good hardware with it. But again, you're going to have that. To me, it is still a Las Vegas weekend, because the drink packages play a big part in those shorter cruises. And when you have people who drink to excess, and you got groups of people who drink to excess, well, that's when things can happen. And that's when you see, like Rebecca said, everybody's got a phone. So some of these fights and some of these skirmishes have happened through the years. You just never saw them. And now everybody's got a phone, and we've got every single platform under the sun where they can put them out there. So I think the best first cruise is a 7-night cruise. I really do. Because then you get multiple port stops, you get sea days, you get to experience, if I want to do things on the ship, and you also get to experience nothing at all. So I always think the 7 days are good. You're welcome, Silver Honda. Have a great day. Robert, looking forward to your chat every week. Thank you very much. Have I or anyone tuning in sailed on a Carnival Venezia, and your thoughts? So I have not sailed yet, but we have sent quite a few people on the Venezia and the Firenze, which is her sister ship. They're all coming back with great reviews. And I mean, the Venezia is just an hour away. She's right down in Port Canaveral during the wintertime. So I desperately want to run over there and get on her. When I saw them, I thought right away, God, this is kind of like a grown-up Carnival. It's kind of like an adult Carnival, because it doesn't have like all the wild and crazy colors. It doesn't have quite so much, in your face, so many things to do. It was more, it kind of, the Venezia really reminded me of the Venetian Hotel out in Las Vegas. It's kind of what it reminded me of. And everybody who's gone on the ship said, well, you described it perfectly. It was kind of like an adult grown-up Carnival. The atrium doesn't look like Carnival. I'm so glad that they left it alone. They basically left the ship alone. They tweaked it. They gave it a little Carnival tweak, but they basically left them as Costa built them, which I thought was a brilliant move. And the word I'm getting back is, the service is very good. They say it almost feels like an elevated Carnival experience. It is a different Carnival experience. So I really want to get on one of those ships. So if you're a Carnival fan and you've been on, quite a few of the ships, and you're like, I want to try something a little different, Venezia will probably be a different experience than what you're used to on Carnival. So
and it is Vista class ships. Yeah. So it's very similar in design to the Vista, Horizon, and Panorama.
Vista Horizon, basically the same ship as those guys. In fact, I think the Panorama was it was bigger. She was the last one. Mm-hmm. They might be more like the Panorama, but I can't remember 100%. So, but yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about the biggest complaint that I've seen online are from like the hardcore Carnival faithful, that it's just like, oh, this doesn't look like a Carnival ship. Didn't feel like a Carnival ship. That's the whole point. That's kind of the whole point. So yeah, I certainly encourage you to go. And if we can help you with that, Robert, certainly just reach out. You know, you guys know how to get a hold of us at Where's Walter Travel. Our services are truly 100% free to you, and we're proud of that. Slick 100 wants to know about the Disney Treasure. Stephanie just got off the ship yesterday or today. Our dear friend Stephanie was on it. That is okay, somebody asked me, you know, like my cruise line preferences. That's the one ship I really, really want to get on, the Disney Treasure. It looks gorgeous. I think the Disney Wish was an interesting idea, but it's kind of a mishmash of things because they were trying to like do all the princesses, whereas the Disney Treasure just has that adventure theme really threaded through, really nice, which is kind of interesting because then you got Disney Adventure coming out. But the Treasure with the Haunted Mansion parlor, with the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea bar, and then the Moana show. Stephanie was saying that Moana show was like the best thing she's ever seen at sea, which is going to be interesting because we're going to see Back to the Future. So I'm going to be real interested to see her comparison between Back to the Future and that. So it'll be really, really interesting. Me McMee, that's a fun name. You've only taken one cruise in the Caribbean on Princess. Would you hate Carnival? I don't know. It all depends on, number one, which ship are you going to go on with Carnival? And you know, number two, what are you looking for out of the vacation? You know, so not necessarily. If you've only taken one cruise in the Caribbean and it was Princess, I mean, maybe. It depends on what did you like about Princess, what did you not like about Princess, and what would you be looking to get out of Carnival that Princess doesn't have. Typically when somebody goes on Princess, and if you really, really enjoyed Princess, two other cruise lines that come to mind would be Celebrity and Virgin Voyages. Those are kind of all in the same thought process for me when, especially if you say you like Princess. If you say, well, I was on Princess, but I was kind of bored at times. I wish there was more to do. Well, then Carnival will certainly play into that because there's nobody like the Fun Squad. The Fun Squad is fun all day long. They really are. They're just a hoot. I really enjoyed them. Now, Princess has taken some nods from the Fun Squad. When we first started sailing Princess, there were things to do, but not nearly as many things to do as there are now. And they weren't quite as alive, if you will. You know, like the Fun Squad's just really active. They're really fun. Well, Princess has kind of taken some energy from that. They brought more energy to their games and to their ship. So, oh yeah. Hey, good morning, Warren. How are you? All right, folks, it's noontime on the East Coast. So I'm going to have to wrap this up because I've got a call in about 30 minutes. So if we can help you in any way, please do reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. Our services are 100% free to you. And we would just love to send you on your cruises, your land, your luxury, your expeditions, all that good stuff. And a reminder, Thursday night, we will have Celebrity Cruises on YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Mr. Alex from Celebrity Cruises will be joining us, so you'll have your opportunity to ask him questions. And don't forget, you've got 1 week left to save almost $400 on the Christmas time in the Rhine River cruise with us in 27. So please do reach out. We would love to bring you guys with us. So thank you so much for a fabulous Sunday. Next Sunday, I will be on the Star of the Seas. We'll be live from the Star of the Seas. So wherever you are in this amazing world, have a great rest of your Sunday, guys. Whoops. I'm so not prepared for this. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, now for real. Bye.